Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm sorry for the long absence and everything. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi guys. It wasn't a really long absence. We did have we had to miss a couple due to extenuating circumstances.
Yeah, I won't go into details.
No litigation, no nothing like that, but just family matters. How's that?
Yes, so tonight we will be reviewing Sorority House Massacre that was released in 1986.
1986, yeah.
Yeah, and as you guys well know, this is another one of those another massacre-related movie.
What was the other one? The same similar series.
Summer Pie Massacre.
Yeah, it's almost. I think it was almost dragged into that series of movies as well. So it's the same sort of genre.
Yeah, it comes from the same family or same family of films.
Yeah, exactly right. And it's an independent by looks of things.
And done by another lady director and writer.
Carol Frank. Yeah, I'll go for those in a moment. Anyway, okay, here we go. Produced by Ron Diamond. I don't know Ron. Anyway, written and directed by Carol Frank. Have got no idea what the budget was. It had a limited run in the theatres before I went to video, so I got no box office details either. So all we feel at this point is it may not have fared very well on the silver screen. It wasn't a bad movie, but maybe it was too samey, a bit like the other movies, like your the Slumber Party Massacre, and there's a bit of Michael Myers, Halloween.
Yeah, a lot of comparisons to the
maybe a little bit too samey.
Yeah.
Maybe, but we liked it. It wasn't great. It didn't jump off the shelf and say, "I'm fantastic."
It does make me think of a little bit of Black Christmas, the original, where an escaped lunatic, he ends up going into the sorority house and starts tormenting the girls who live within
and killing them. What?
Yes,
yeah, very good. Makes for a very good movie.
Yeah, that goes without saying.
Can't say too much about it because, like I said, there's very little on the internet to go. Fishing for.
As I often say, if you've seen one one Sorority House movie, you see them all. They all have something in common.
So it's not like the Slumber Parties. The first one was the best, I think. The remake wasn't all that good. The other ones, Slumber Party 2 and 3 were, get the idea. But yeah, the first one was good, and this one wasn't too bad, I don't think. So anyway, that's why we're doing it.
It had an interesting plot a little bit.
Yeah,
that's all I could say.
Will all be revealed shortly. Okay, now I'll run through a handful of the stars. I'll just do the main ones because it's centered around the girls and the antagonists. Okay, here we go. Angela O'Neill plays Laura. Beth to her friends. Henkel, Henkel. Now the antagonist is John, played by John C. Russell. He's playing Bobby Henkel, but Sarah will explain more about that later on. Now, Angela's friends are played by Wendy Martell. She plays Linda. Pamela Ross plays Sarah. Nicole Rio plays Tracy. I won't mention the boyfriends. They only had bit roles anyway.
Yeah, because you see them halfway through the movie and then they disappear and only say two little
bits here and there, and then they get killed off pretty quick. It's a bit like cannon fodder.
I like to think that maybe those actors had to disappear because they had another film project on.
Or they weren't needed. Look, it was a girl flick written by a girl.
Well, bear in mind, she also had difficulty with the leading actress. She
wouldn't take her clothes off.
Yeah, see, there was a scene in this one where there was a bit of nudity, and Angela O'Neill refused to do a nudity scene. So she said she was going to boycott it by threatening to walk off the set if she's forced to do a nude scene. So eventually, I guess the director, Carol, swang in and let her just to watch it from the side. So that's pretty much what happened.
Something like that. Anyway, I got nothing to say about anything because I can't find information.
Yeah,
However,
and this film was filmed in under 17 days.
A quickie.
Yeah.
A quickie, not bad. Actually, I was going to say that there's no reason why you can't make a fast film as long as you got everything organised. Because we were looking at some stuff on Roger Corman. Wasn't he doing really quickie movies in the early days? Did. How many days? Like one a week, was it, or something? Or,
yeah, it could have been one a week
or two a week or something.
2 a week. But again...
they weren't polished, obviously.
But again, as I said before, back then it was probably... filmmaking was on the expensive side, and they, unlike him, he didn't have an iPhone.
We didn't. Well, he didn't have digital stuff, so he was wham bam, thank you, man. But take one, that'll do. No saver, keep going, and that's it. And he made these really quick movies. But it's if you're organised, you can do it.
Agreed.
Yeah. Anyway, I've got nothing more to say. Do you want to start talking about the plot?
Yes, sir. So the story begins with lead protagonist, final girl, whatever her name is, Laura, or Beth to her friends, is heading towards the sorority house, which she shares with four other girls and some other unnamed girls we don't know of.
Yeah, she's a new pledge to join the sorority.
Yeah, we don't hear too much about the sorority stuff. Like, usually there's rituals where you have to join.
It wasn't centered around the rituals. It was centered around her coming there on the first day or two.
Yeah, she's like walking towards it and enters and feels like deja vu about this house. Like she's been there before. Yeah, like she starts seeing visions and dreams and stuff like that.
Dream lover, where are you? That's right.
Yeah, so we introduce our three other girls: Laura, Tracy, and what's the other one?
Well, okay. Well, we had Linda.
Oh yeah, Linda,
Sarah, and Tracy.
Cindy and Tracy.
Beth is Laura.
Yes. So
why? I have no idea.
Yeah. So Cindy and all the other girls, they welcome her with open arms, and they eventually start having a bit of fun on the weekend. And meanwhile, while all this is happening, this evil, twisted, psychotic guy who's been confined to a mental institute for so long is escaped.
Well, yeah. Look, you're glossing over it too much.
I know, but there's so much stuff that's boring.
At the time she is moving into the sorority house, there's cutaways to a mental asylum.
Yes.
There's a patient in there who's getting agitated.
Very agitated.
And he gets so agitated, he breaks out and makes his way to the sorority house.
In Los Angeles.
There is a reason for it, which will be disclosed, I hope, very shortly.
Yeah, somewhere it's in Los Angeles in a few miles, whatever.
Yeah.
And
well,
so
you had to steal the car to get
there.
So
halfway through the movie, say, after a few boring bits here and there that are not really relevant, we then get to the house, and the girls are having full fun with their boyfriends, some of the guys that they're hanging out with. And
all clean fun, though.
And one of the guys sits down with the girls and tells them the urban legend of how this sorority house is haunted by a psychopath killer.
There was a murder committed in that place about 12 years earlier.
Yeah, where two parents and their 3 daughters were killed by the son of the house.
Yeah, and we find out later that one of the girls escaped with her life. She was 6 at the time or something?
6 or 5, I think it was.
6 at the time, yeah.
Anyway.
It was 12 years ago. This is all relevant.
Yes. Beth heads upstairs and she dreams of this unknown man who's a silhouette too, most of the time in this movie.
And she feels like he wants to kill her.
She tries to tell her friends this, and they think that it's all a dream. They even try to hypnotize her, which I think is funny.
Well, it's not really. One of the girls was a psychology student. And we all know hypnosis doesn't really work unless the person is really, really willing.
Anyway, she hypnotizes her, and at first it goes really well but then it's hard to get her out.
She's sort of stuck in there.
Yeah, somehow the dream or flashback won't end. And of course one of the girls thinks this must be a flashback to a former life, yada, 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 which I doubt.
Well, bugger.
I think as it turns out in this story, that it's more like a blocked memory. You know,
Exactly.
it's blocked because it's so traumatic and all that stuff.
Yes, he blocked it out because he was terrified. That's a really good reason to do it, I think. Yeah.
Of course, while we go back and forth between our psycho and these girls waiting for the psycho, we go to the some of the staff who contact the doctor, who contact the detective, and they shuffle back and forth trying to discuss where the psycho may have gone
He has gone to parts unknown, and later on they'd say, "Oh, he might have gone home. Oh, bugger. Hello. I would have gone there first. If Michael Myers did, everybody else does. Well, why not, you know?"
Yeah, it would have been a subtle hint. He would not have known that his sister, his last sister, would have gone off to his aunt or uncle to stay.
Yeah, exactly.
Or changed her name for that.
And possibly changed. Well, they didn't change her name because her name is Henkel.
Oh wait, I forgot. Beth is like her middle name. I forgot.
Yeah. Like it's probably Laura Elizabeth Henkel, so it's probably Beth.
So she's called Beth throughout this movie, and Laura's just her old name.
Isn't it funny? We talk about Michael Myers before. What was the name that Jamie Lee Curtis? She was Laura.
Yeah, Laura Strode.
You think someone borrowed it?
You think? Yes. Anyway, so a killer arrives. He kills one of the group pair, a man leaving the party, and he gets stabbed, obviously.
Very well.
And then let me see, a couple who's in a teepee.
They stuck outside of a teepee they erected to do some sort of function, and they were trying to have it off in the teepee, and it didn't.
He killed the girl, but the guy ran back inside in time.
Didn't quite work out the way they envisaged it. No.
Yeah,
no.
and the Laura or Beth's boyfriend. I don't know. There's not too much chemistry between some of the guys and the girls. Don't ask me why.
Yeah, no, sometimes actors just don't get it right. They just, oh, look at me, I'm the boyfriend. Hello, how are you? Kissy, kissy, kissy. No, there's no magic. They didn't make it real enough.
It would have been great if there were a few
but,
touchy-feely moments, like not touchy-feely, like as in I'm going to feel you up type moments, just moments where you have moments between our two
some tenderness or something or other. But there's none of that. It's like, hi, I'm a Randy boyfriend. How are you? Blah blah blah. Yeah,
they could be just best mates or friends.
They were boyfriends or wannabes. I don't know. But the girls. One of the girls going to have sex with one of them. They must have known each other reasonably well.
Anyway, back to the story. So he kills so far 4 people, and the remaining ones they hide inside one of the girls' rooms.
Yeah, upstairs, lock the room, put the chest of drawers in front of the door to keep him out and everything else. And
they then attempt to climb out the window using a fire escape ladder.
One of those chain fire ladders you have there on someone's on the second floor. Yes, throw it out the window, hang it over the window. Windowsill and climb down.
Yeah, the girls check the door just to be safe if he's going to barge in any time, and they just hear a slight breathing.
It's Darth Vader. No, not Darth Vader. No.
So the guy, he heads down first, and as he's heading down, he gets killed by the man, and the girls, unaware, think that he's still that the guy, the good guy, is still there, but he's actually dead on the ground, but dear old Bobby is standing there.
He's bleeding all over the carpet.
No,
it's terrible. How are you going to get
He's on the outside.
Oh, that guy. Yeah.
He's on the
carpet.
carpet.
Okay, you get to stand out the grass eventually by watering off.
Anyway, one of the girlfriends, she climbs down the ladder too, and then she gets grabbed by Bobby, and she tries to get back into the room. Yeah, after a couple of times, he tries to grab her, and he even tries to grab them through the window, but they try to slam the window. It's one of those open windows.
Ordinary up and down sort of sash windows. Yeah.
And they slam it on him, his hands a couple of times.
I would slam down a little harder, but anyway.
Of course, it doesn't work very well because his hands seem to be made of stronger than leather.
Well, nutcases normally have a different mental set than we have.
Anyway, so they head back inside the outside the place, and they try to head out the front door, and the killer keeps calling her Laura, and then he kills one of their friends and thinks that that's Laura between them.
Nah.
It's not Beth or anything like that.
Well, because it looks a bit like it's short, dark
Short,
hair.
dark,
How she was when she was a kid.
Yeah, and of course our two remaining girls, they head into the basement where the key possibly... Yeah,
I don't know what the key had, because that was the key to let yourself lock the house up when you go out. And you go, well...
I guess they were hoping to
house.
lock the house up to lock the killer in. I don't know.
I don't know.
So they head down there, and Laura works out that, or Beth works out that she was that this guy is her brother, and he was trying to kill her as a child.
And that's where he chased her down to the basement and tried to kill her in the basement when she was a little 5-year-old.
Yeah,
now she's 17 or 18, and all the memories are coming back.
Yeah, she and her friend they then leave the basement and try to head back upstairs, and she remembers and they try to fight the killer off, Bobby, and eventually they knock him out and think he's dead, but then he rises up like Michael Myers and he stabs her friend in the back. Throughout this movie, it's like cutting through body butter when you look at these movies.
And it's quite funny. I mean, I'll just stop here. Every time this guy, he's got a hunting knife. Now, I think the blade's about 6 inches long or something. I mean, it looks 6 inches long to me. Okay, the nice hunting knife thing. Every time he stabs somebody, it appears to go straight through the body and out the other side, and you've got about 2 inches sticking out the other side. Either he's using a different knife when he's stabbing them, or they're exceptionally thin and they're about 3 inches thin because the knife is poking out the other side.
Yeah, I don't buy very much, folks.
There's a little bit of a problem there, but
Yeah. So now, Beth is the last remaining member. So she uses they kind of recovered an old knife that belonged to her brother that he hid in the fireplace.
Well, the one he actually used to commit the original murders, probably.
Yeah, and she uses that very same knife and slashes him.
And gets himself to the neck.
Yeah, and he falls down for the count, and she's crumbling near the door. Then the police and the psychiatrist arrive to take her statement.
This one's still alive. But wait, there's more.
She's back. She's at the hospital, and this takes place. Throughout this movie is like a bit of a long flashback.
Yeah, because that starts off with her in a hospital bed, then she talks about what happened.
Yeah,
and so it's back to where she's in the hospital bed.
Yeah.
However,
then as she's settling into the mattress, we then get a curtain movement, and then we see him there, all burnt and whatever, and he says, Laura, Beth. Because he kept calling her Laura in the beginning, but now he's calling her Beth now.
See?
And then she wakes up, and she realizes that she's still suffering from these nightmares.
And will she ever get over the nightmares?
No.
Only the sequel will tell. No. There was no sequel. Well, no,
yeah,
not a real. There was a Sorority House. Sorority House Massacre 2, I believe.
And a third movie.
And a third one. I don't know whether she was in the second movie. I haven't seen it. I can't get a copy of it. And I haven't seen the third one yet.
Yeah.
So,
As for the poster, I should mention, you guys probably have seen the poster and think, why is the woman in this one not appearing in this movie?
Well, they wouldn't know if they haven't seen the movie yet, okay? But
see, if there was a blonde woman on the poster, a famous actress named Susie Slater, and she doesn't appear in this
but
movie.
She looks good.
Maybe at the time when they were auditioning and she was going to be casted, but she decided to walk away when they were halfway through.
And they didn't make a new poster.
And they didn't bother to make one.
But you said something about that with Psycho, the original Psycho movie, when we were talking.
I did, didn't I?
Earlier today. Yeah. That the trailer.
Yeah.
Had what's the name? Not.
That would have been.
not the main lady.
Verna Miles.
Yeah, Vera Miles was doing the
Miles,
shower scene for the trailer, whereas Janet Lee was the actual one in the shower. So they muck around a little bit, but most people don't notice.
So what do people say reviews were like in this movie?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I've got no bloody idea. No, no, there's not a lot to talk about. But I get the impression. I think IMDb might have had a couple of things I didn't read up on. They don't give me enough information for what I want. That's only one area, but I think it sort of went flat because it was too samey as the other movies.
I see.
And the likeness to Halloween 1 and that sort of stuff, things like that. And I think it had a very, very limited run in the theatres before it went straight to VHS tape for home media, and that was about it. It could have been really good to get a limited run, hit the drive-in circuits and that sort of stuff, but it didn't quite make it because it wasn't a fresh idea, probably. Yeah.
Because it's...
I mean, I like it, but it's not up top there for all the other ones. What do you reckon?
I probably would agree with you. Considering that there's the amount of sorority-related movies out there, and there's some really good ones out there. And the ones I consider the most popular to this day are the original Black Christmas one.
We might review that.
And there's another Sorority House movie that was back in the 70s or the 70s somewhere.
Well, yeah.
That was considered probably really posh back then.
That was the one we talked about before, was it? The Sorority House.
That deals with an invalid in the attic, and this invalid is the son of the house mother's stuff. I won't go into the details in that one.
We haven't reviewed that one yet, so we might bring that in.
It might be good. I mean, considering that I just like those kind of stories where they deal with something weird, like that happening. I like a good plot when it comes to these sort of things. Although that Black Christmas one, I still don't know. They still worked out what that guy's problem was. And we still don't know what happens next because there's a twist ending.
Anyway. Well, we can't... What more can we say?
I wish I knew. Sadly...
This is going to be a very short podcast.
Yeah, and we didn't have enough time to arrange too much... stuff for this one.
I couldn't find stuff. That's where the problem
I only found a little bit of stuff on this one because it is a small production.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. If you like Halloween, it is similar to Halloween. No, it's not a rip-off. It's just got some similar themes to it. How's that? So yeah. And I liked it. It's a good watch. Yeah, it wouldn't be on my top 10 list, but still a good watch. And it was well done. I think the directorship was good. Storyline was good. The acting was pretty good for its time, being an independent movie as well. So, and I can't find too much on the actors because there's no links to anybody. There's no websites.
Yeah, the only two people that do have a bit of a link somewhere is the detective and the orderly guy who plays just an extra.
Yeah. So
not exactly
there's no links to anybody.
Big roles. You would think the detective may play a big role in this one, but I don't think so.
I could even find any links for the writer or the producer. So yeah, it's really
a bit strange. You would think that
look what I did. Yeah,
they could have brought in the detective, him trying to become an Ahab in this production and tries to stop our slasher killer from proceeding with his plans.
He didn't even quite make his Ahab. He wasn't in there.
Yeah.
He was at the nut house saying, "Where is he? Oh, he might be at the house. Okay, I'll drive there. By the time he gets there, it's all finished."
Yeah.
So much for Ahab. Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to rate this now? Because considering that this is, we don't have.
Well, I can't think of anything else to do with it. This is very short.
Yeah, and
Look, okay, giving that it is an independent film and the period it was made in back in the 80s, the style was a bit different back then. Look, I'm going to have to give it an 8 at least because it's a good effort. It may not be a top A movie type effort, but it's a damn fine movie. But it doesn't quite make it because I think it's too much of a rip-off of what's already been done. And that's why it's probably, there's no reviews on it. It had a limited run. It went to tape. That was it. There's a lot of movies like that, but they're still good movies. Yeah, they're good. They're good for a watch. Yeah, look, Halloween. You're scratching for something else to watch. You've seen all Michael Myers movies and Jason Voorhees. Throw this one on instead.
Yeah, I did like the idea that the killer is related. Even though that sounds too much like Michael Myers and Laura Strode when you think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they replaced his name with Michael, it would have made a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Considering that her name was Laura,
Yeah.
If that's anything to go on.
That's it. And I'm not knocking that. It was a bit of, they borrowed the name. They like the name. Who knows? I don't know.
Anyway, I will probably give this one a 7 out of 10. And then that's the most lowest score I could give.
That's pretty bad for her.
I mean, I guess if there was more character development and chemistry between the characters, I probably would have praised it more.
You said before we did the podcast, started the podcast, the chemistry between the boy actors and the girl actors, they were going through the motions okay.
Yeah.
And they were smiling and joking around. But
they were kissing.
And there was no chemistry. We know it's acting, but a halfway decent actor can make it look real.
Yeah.
Hey, if I'm going to kiss a girl, whether it's on a screen or not on a screen, I'm going to make my damn sure it's a kiss, and if you're going to act it out, deliver it. It's going to have a real kiss and display some sort of emotion, even though it's pretend. And it was devoid of emotion. I think that's what you're probably getting at. Yeah. They were doing the lines and doing the motions, but weren't living the part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on this movie. So, there's nothing else we could say at this point.
No, it's sort of like.
And I was gonna think of if things were better, I would have loved to had more time to do more, of these movies. But no, I guess next week we're going to try to end it with a Christmas movie if we can.
We might do Black Christmas and something else. Whatever.
Yeah, seeing as it's getting close to Christmas and Black Christmas is a classic.
We'll find something else.
The 1970s version, not the horrible version that just came out last year.
We'll find two Christmassy ones to finish off the year.
Yeah, we could do 2 more, and then we'll close up until next year.
We'll wind up officially till the end of January or something? Beginning of February?
Yeah, beginning of February, like we always do.
We'll, in the meantime, we'll find some good movies to enthrall you. How's that? Now, by the way, if you want to have a look at this, if you want to spend your hard-earned money, and if you can't get a copy of it at your local or hire place or stream it from somewhere, eBay has plenty, new and used. Be careful, being an old one, there's some VHS thrown in there. Amazon, same thing, available to rent or buy, new and used, some VHS. However, here is the thing. Limited releases on this has forced the price up. So you're not going to get it for $10 or $5, something or other, and there are some double features where you have this movie and the sequel. So if you get a good double feature, well, buy it, but don't spend too much money on it. You might be better off trying to rent it through Prime or something, rather, if you remember.
Yeah, considering what if you don't like the sequel? Considering that this one, sequel has a limited. We don't know enough about it, or it's.
Well, I don't know enough about it, so I can't tell you about it. And haven't seen it, so I
mean,
can't say, hey, it's really bad or really good.
Yeah, if it's not being released to video or anything like that, or DVD, then it may be the fact that maybe the studio, the distributors don't think it's worth looking
it's
at.
there. You can buy.
I don't know.
You can buy a copy of it. Look, to a certain degree, it's probably got some sort of cult status to a certain degree, because otherwise they wouldn't be pumping it out as Blu-ray and everything else. People want to see it. So, yeah, it's available as Blu-ray for those purists who like getting a really good copy. But some of the Blu-ray copies aren't real good because the source material isn't that good. So, yeah. But look, have a go. If it's too expensive, I wouldn't waste the money. No, it's just I wouldn't pay $50 to watch a movie like this. Okay, I'd say if you get it cheap or hire it through Prime, something a bit cheaper, yeah, have a look at it. But I wouldn't spend really hard money on it, because I'd save that for a really, really good movie. But if you can get it, you might be able to get it for, I don't know, get it for YouTube maybe.
Yeah, you might. No, I don't think you can get it on YouTube.
Well, look, have a look around. There might be some streaming sites, YouTube, other places you might be able to find it. But if you get an inexpensive copy of it, have a look at it. But I wouldn't spend big dollars. But I've seen some ridiculous prices for it, and why? Because it's limited. Supply and demand, the law of economics. Yeah.
So that's about it for us tonight, guys. So we'll see you guys for our next podcast episode.
Hopefully we'll get another 2 in before Christmas.
Yeah. I wish we had more time. I would have loved to.
Sorry for our little bit of a break, but we did have a bit of a family emergency here. We didn't have time to get things fixed up.
Yeah, sorry, folks. So this is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying we'll see you guys for our next podcast. Bye for now.
Arrivederci.